हेलो गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू द चैनल यूट्यूब दी मिस्टिफाइड। चलिए शुरू करते हैं आज के द हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर एनालिसिस के साथ फॉर द 30th of May 2023। Shah lands in Manipur to initiate peace measures। मणिपुर में आपको पता ही है ethnic violence is on between the Kuki-Zomi communities and the Meitei community, and the situations are pretty devastating right now. Let's see what measures are being taken and will be taken to calm down things. So a very horrifying incident took place in Delhi. A 16-year-old girl was stabbed again and again more than 20 times by her friend Sahil, who was 20 years old. And it was a very devastating and horrendous act, and it was caught on CCTV camera. And the victim's father, of course, the girl's father, has made a statement that if only somebody from the crowd has had the courage to stop. And even more horrifying was the fact that she was stabbed on a very busy lane. It was not some quiet place where there was nobody. It was a very busy lane. People were crossing, and nobody stopped the boy, and the boy kept stabbing the girl until she died. Of course, after 20 times, who would be able to live? Kuki-Zomi women seek precedence rule in Manipur. So let's see now. Now the portfolio distribution has been done in Karnataka, and Siddharamaiah, who is the Chief Minister of Karnataka, has taken a finance, and Shiv Kumar, who is the Deputy Chief Minister, has gotten irrigation. Symbol, substance. Religious rituals at the opening of new parliament building defied propriety. So of course you must have watched the inauguration of the new parliament building, and it was a very elaborate religious ritual where there were so many pandits, and they performed puja, and the Sengal was handed over to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So it was not just a very democratic process, but it was also a very religious and traditional process that took place. The inevitable imprint of the fifth estate in Karnataka. The recent elections in Karnataka should be considered a model for the power of people's democracy. Yes, civil society made the difference. Yes, the power of people in a democracy. The anti-incubation thing that goes on. It has also happened in Himachal Pradesh, it has also happened in Karnataka. So yes, the battle between the different parties was fought very well, but then again everything lies to the people's choice. Later this year, India will have a supercomputer that will be high performance computing HPC. It is to be made and installed by the French corporation Atos. And we should just not use the supercomputer for weather forecasting, but there can be many other things that the supercomputer can be used for, for defense, satellite tracking, and lots of things can be used. It can be used for. So Erdogan won the elections in Turkey, and now he'll be entering into his 21st day. I mean, he's already been ruling for 20 years now, and this will be, if he completes this term, he'll complete 25 years into that position. And it's a very interesting story how Istanbul, that is today Istanbul, was conquered by Ottoman Empire. So before Istanbul, it was known as Constantinople. So Constantinople, or Istanbul as we call it today, was an area that was continuously fought for by the Christians and the Muslims, the Ottomans and the it went forth and back into the hands of these two empires, and the last conquer was by Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II. And there's also a very interesting documentary on Netflix about this, the story of Constantinople and the story of Istanbul. So it's a triumph for Ottoman glory. That means how Erdogan being a Muslim and all that. From master of the roster to master of all judges, a recent Supreme Court order has the effect of enlarging the powers of the CJI on the judicial side. कि जुडिशरी में द चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया की पावर्स और भी ज़्यादा बढ़ सकती है. तो एक सरप्राइजिंग टर्न ऑफ इवेंट्स इन द कोर्ट जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया entertained a recall application moved by the Union of India against this judgment. It then passed an interim order. BJP outreach to Sevites. The presence of heads of Sevite mutts from Tamil Nadu at the inauguration of the new parliament building may offer a likeness to August 49 and 47 when the representation of Thiruvadathurrai Adhinam presented Sengal to Jawaharlal Nehru. So this is how the BJP is outreaching. Everything is part of politics. So I am not very sure, but it's just a guess that I am making in the dark, that maybe the situation for BJP in South India is not very great. So this may be an attempt to woo the voters. How Parliament has functioned till now, a poor performance. These are the different studies, like the number of sittings in the last 17 Lok Sabha, number of percentage of bills referred to the committees, or number of bills passed by each Lok Sabha, you can see that the 4th Lok Sabha had a huge number of bills passed, and the 17th Lok Sabha had a very low number of bills passed. So, the things are not looking pretty well or good here. The performance of the parliament this year, or the 17th Lok Sabha, was not very good or not very encouraging or inspiring. "50 years ago, Park says it is ready for talks with open mind." I don't know when that open mind will come. It's been 50 years now. Okay. Reparation payments. $100 ago. Anyways, let's move ahead. Unemployment rate dips. Lack of teachers in higher education. Yes, this is a very difficult task at hand. There is a shortage of teachers and professors, and there are no good teachers in school, and this is really a difficult time for the education sector because of the lack of teachers. The students are much in number, but the teachers are very less. So faculty shortages in India have existed since the 1980s, but seem to have become permanent today. The paucity of a sufficient number of faculty members undermines the growth of the country's knowledge sector. Yes, it does. The government collect data on colleges, universities, and the number of faculty members for the annual All India Survey of Higher Education. This is a voluntary process for various institutions. So yes, there is a shortage of educators in schools and in colleges. What has India done to curb unnecessary hysterectomies? Union Health Ministry recently urged state governments to audit hysterectomy trends in public and private hospitals in response to a Supreme Court petition arguing that women from marginalized locations are at risk of unjustified hysterectomy. So the SC's reiteration of guidelines came in response to a petition by Dr. Narendra Gupta. He argued that private hospitals and engaged in unethical practices, unnecessary procedures, and did not inform women of side effects or to their informed consent. So hysterectomy आपको मतलब पता ही होगा. It is the removal or partial blockage of the uterus, and there are unnecessary hysterectomies done by so many people for so many different agendas now, to stop unwanted pregnancies or to keep the women under their control, and there are so many different reasons for that. But there's a problem that the hysterectomy operations that are being done are not checked by, and it is a very painful procedure. The women are not informed completely what will be the side effects of such. So hysterectomy is a problem and they need to be taken care of. Understanding the violence faced by healthcare professionals in India. So recently in a situation in Kerala, a doctor was beaten harshly And that is a problem that healthcare professionals do face violence in India, because many of the people, they're on an emotional roller coaster and they just blame the doctors or the healthcare professionals. It's not true that the healthcare professionals are always good at their job. It happens many times that even they lack at their job, but still, violence is certainly not the answer for that kind of a situation. So the deal with the quiz, you all know. Read the questions, leave to it. Now you must have read the questions yesterday. Read the questions again, this time with the answer, and it'll be done. The word of the day is raise, that is to tear down so as to make flat with the ground. The building was raised, that means to tear it down so that it will be on a level with the ground. Congress leaders tell High Command to not support the Aam Aadmi Party on the issue of ordinance, where Mamata Banerjee has showed her support openly. And the ordinance issue, you all know that the reins of the bureaucracy are now again given back to the lieutenant governor, whether he or she will have the final say in the bureaucratic matters. Whereas few days ago the Supreme Court declared that the bureaucracy will be under the control of Delhi government. So by issuing the ordinance, the central government put the reins back in the hands of the center. Vande Bharat Express is a new series of trains that have been started, and it is a high-speed train, and in comparison to other trains, it takes usually lesser time to reach your destination. CAG, Comptroller Auditor General of India, has been re-elected as the external auditor for the World Health Organization for a second 4-year term. That's great news. India to train women from Asian. Now Asian, dealing with Southeast Asian nations. This is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, that is ASEAN, and it has approximately it has countries from Southeast Asia. It has I think India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, all of these are a member of ASEAN, and under the UN peacekeeping mission. Peacekeeping is how to maintain peace at areas where there are chances of violent breakouts. So India will train women from Asia, that is from the Southeast Asian region, the Southeast Asian countries will be women from these countries will be trained. The war between Russia and Ukraine still on. Let's see what turns will it take, how it will end, what will be the consequences of result of it, and Bola Tinubu vows to unite and secure Nigeria. Bola Tinubu is the new president-elect of Nigeria. New anti-LGBTQ law in Uganda imposes capital punishment. Anti-LGBTQ law in Uganda, capital punishment, death punishment can also be harshest anti-LGBTQ laws in Uganda. Imports from China rise from 4.6% to 37.86 billion. Rise 4.6%. That's not a rise that we should be looking for, because आपको पता ही होगा this strategy that when the imports is greater than the exports, it is usually a loss for us. Though we are getting the material, but still we have to pay in foreign currency. So always for a developed country, the exports should be higher than the imports. The sports news. IPL final between the Gujarat Titans and the CSK. Chennai Super Kings.